Hi future engineers, palagi ba kayong stressed, pagod at tinatamad, pero gusto niyong pumasa at mag-top sa college and board exam? Subscribe and watch all my videos and I promise na magiging the best kayo sa engineering in short period of time. Kung hirap pa rin kayo mag-memorize ng formulas of derivatives, yung tipong na-memorize mo na lahat, then after 2 days nakalimutan mo na naman yung iba. So today, ituturo ko yung techniques para ma-memorize nyo lahat yung 31 formulas. For differential calculus complete formulas, para mas mabilis nating ma-memorize, tandaan yung word na I hate L. I for inverse trigonometric functions, merong 6 formulas under that. H for hyperbolic functions, having 6 formulas. A for algebraic functions, 8 formulas. T for trigonometric functions, 6 formulas. E for exponential functions, so 2 formulas. L for logarithmic functions, 3 formulas. So total of 31 formulas. Algebraic functions have 8 formulas. Pero paano natin i-memorize lahat yan ng mabilis at yung hindi nyo makakalimutan? So ang tricks dito, tandaan nyo, meron tayong 8 formulas. Yung tatlo is about constant, another 3 for operations, and yung dalawa about exponent. Sa constant, meron tayong derivative of constant. So d over dx of c or constant is always 0. Then, derivative of function u over c. So, d over dx ng u over c is equivalent to 1 over c times the derivative of u. And lastly, derivative of constant over function u. So, d over dx ng c over u is equivalent to c times the derivative of u over u squared. Sa operations, we have addition, multiplication, and division of functions u and v. First, derivative of u plus b. So, d over dx of u plus b equivalent to derivative ng u plus derivative ng v. So, du plus dv. Second, derivative of u times v. So, d over dx ng u and b equals to u dv plus v du. And lastly, derivative ng u divided by v. So, d over dx of u over v is equivalent to v du minus u dv over v squared. For exponents, we have 2 formulas. Square root of u and u raised to n. First, derivative of square root of u. So, d over dx of square root of u equals to derivative of u over 2 square root of u. For derivative of u raised to n, so d over dx of u raised to n equivalent to n times u raised to n minus 1 times du over dx. So, basically yung n bababa, then yung exponent mamaminosan ng 1 times yung derivative ng u. For exponential functions, we have 2 formulas. Dito ang tatandaan nyo, palaging may exponent yung hinahanap, like derivative ng au and eu. Sa derivative ng au is au ln of a du dx. For derivative ng eu, magiging eu times du dx. Lagi mo lang isusulat ulit yung hinahanap. For example, if derivative ng au, so equals agad sa eu yan. For derivative of eu, so equals to eu agad. So tandaan nyo, pag au magkakaroon ng ln of a times du dx. Kapag EU naman, du dx lang. For logarithmic functions, we have 3 formulas. Yung dalawa, puro log, yung isa, ln. Sa log, we have log AU and log 10U. Pag log AU, equals yan sa log AE times du dx over U. Pag log 10U, equals yan sa log 10E du dx over U. Ang tricks dito sa log, ang format niya is laging may E times du dx over U. Then, isusulat mo lang kung either log A or log 10. For ln, we have d over dx ng ln equals derivative of u over u. For trigonometric functions, we have 6 formulas. So, dalawang single. Ibig sabihin ng single trigonometric function lang yung sagot. For example, derivative of sin u is equivalent to cos u du dx. For derivative of cos u, we have negative sin u du dx. Kung mapapansin nyo, single lang yung mga sagot like cos u and negative sin u. For double or dalawa yung trigonometric function na sagot, we have sec u and cosecant u. For derivative of secant u, we have sec u tan u du dx. For cosecant u, we have negative cosecant u times cotangent u times du dx. So dito, dalawa yung trigonometric function na sagot like sec u tan u and negative cosecant u cotangent u. Lastly, we have 2 squared. Kung yung mga sagot dito is may mga squared. For example, for tangent u, ang derivative niya is secant squared u du dx, so may squared. Pag derivative naman ng cotangent u, so equals to negative cosecant squared u du dx. Dito sa derivative ng trigonometric functions, lahat ng may letter C like cosine u, cotangent u, and cosecant u, ang mga sagot sa kanila is always may negative. Sa inverse trigonometric function, we have 6 formulas. 4 may square root, yung 2 walang square root. Sa may square root, we have the derivative of arcsine, arccosine, arcsecant, and arccosecant. Sa walang square root, we have the derivative of arctangent and arccotangent. For the derivative of arcsine, we have 1 over square root of 1 minus u squared times du dx. Then, sa derivative ng arccosine, we have negative 1 over square root of 1 minus u squared times du dx. So, parehas lang itong dalawa, may negative lang dito sa arccosine. For derivative of arcsecant, we have 1 over u times square root of u squared minus 1 times du dx. Then, for the derivative of arccosecant, we have negative 1 over u times square root of u squared minus 1 times du dx. So basically, they are the same. Negative lang yung sa arccosecant. Then, punta tayo sa non-square root. Yung masagot dito is walang square root. For example, derivative of arctangent is equivalent to 1 over 1 plus u squared times du dx. For the derivative of arccotangent, we have negative 1 over 1 plus u squared times du over dx. Parehas lang sila, negative lang yung sa arccotangent. For hyperbolic functions, we have 6 formulas. 2 for single, 2 for double, and 2 for squared. Itong single, ibig sabihin yan, single function lang yung sagot. So meron tayong hyperbolic sine or sine hu and hyperbolic cosine or cos u. The derivative of sine hu is cos u du dx. So single function lang. Pag derivative of cos u, we have sine hu du dx. Then punta tayo sa double. Dito we have hyperbolic secant and hyperbolic cosecant. Ang derivative ng hyperbolic secant is negative secant hu times tan hu times du dx. Then for the derivative of hyperbolic cosecant, we have negative cosecant hu times cotangent hu times du dx. So tandaan nyo, laging magkasamang secant and tangent. Tapos cosecant and cotangent. Then lastly for squared, we have the derivative of hyperbolic tangent and hyperbolic cotangent. Yung derivative ng hyperbolic tangent is secant h squared u times du dx. Then for the derivative of hyperbolic cotangent, we have negative cosecant h squared u times du dx. So applicable pa rin yung sinabi ko kanina na magkakasama palagi si tangent and secant, also si cotangent and cosecant.